thank you for the opportunity and welcome to the AdaptNET project. Actually, the project reads like strengthening education, research and innovation for climate smart crops in India. And we are reporting here of the work we have been doing during the past 3 years. And I'm Carlo Pozzi and I'm from the University of Milano in Italy. And my co-speaker is going to be Professor Bidyut Sarmah from Assam Agricultural University in India. So the AdaptNET project is an international network which is composed of 4 European groups which are based in Italy, the University of Milano, and in the center of Italy, which is the Polytechnic University of Marche, and 2 institutions which are in Greece, the Agricultural University of Athens and the Academy of Athens. And then there are 4 institutions in India, 3 of which are universities, the Assam Agricultural University and the Tezpur University in Assam, and the University of Agricultural Sciences in Dharwad, the south part of India. And in Hyderabad, we have an internationally funded research institute which is called ICRISAT. Now, let's have a look at which are the goals we are pursuing. Well, first of all, our first pillar is in science, and we are interested in climate change. That's what our researches are being focusing. So, of course, the AdaptNET project is not actually a research project, but it's heavily building on the science we are already developing. I would please ask the other speakers to switch off their microphones, please. So the climate change that we are interested in is considered from the scientific, economic, and social impact. And we also are interested in understanding how climate change-ready crops can be integrated in the agricultural environment, especially in India. And we are doing that at the systemic level. So we are trying to understand how a climate change resilient system can actually be realized, especially in countries like India. We do that through a very intensive training set of activities, workshops, mobility of scholarships, and updated curricula and the e-labs. And we'll be talking about those items in the next few minutes. And networking and dissemination is also an integral part with webinars, meetings and conference and outreach activities which are conducted in India, as you will learn in the next few minutes. So the first thing we did was to realize a set of 4 workshops during a month in 2020 for 30 Indian trainees, which are staff in the institutions, members of the project. And this is important because they have now the opportunity to go back to their institutions and be able to readily implement what they've been learning during these 4 workshops. The 4 workshops were done in Italy: philosophical, legal, economical, and agronomical perspectives and climate change, and genetic resources, gene discovery and climate change, and in Greece, agriculture and climate change. And eventually, after those 3 weeks spent in Europe, the students went back to India and they had the final workshop at the ICRISAT on genomics for developing climate resilient crops. So that was done with great success, as it was demonstrated by the feedbacks we received. And we were ready to go for the next step, which was the 3-month mobility of 16 Indian students, PhD onwards, in 4 European laboratories. And that's when the COVID started. And of course, that put a pause to our activities, at least in terms of mobility. So the AdaptNET is very strong also on the networking, and we did networking activities to construct and, let's say, implement the basis of future interactions between the partners. That was done both in Europe, Brussels, Athens, and in India, where we had a meeting when then the pandemic started, and now we are having recurrent and regular meetings online. So I would like to stress the importance of these virtual meetings, which are a very carbon neutral opportunity to regularly meet and coordinate the activities, but also I would like to stress the impossibility of substituting in-presence meeting with those kinds of virtual meetings. Of course, then we have a website which is reported here, and we have a quite intense activity online with Facebook and Twitter, and please follow us there on our social media. We did webcons as a tool to interact with scientists and trainees, and that was done especially from our partners in India. There have been publications done by Human Resources, which are currently members of the project, and this is going to be presented later on by my Indian co-presenter, as well as the outreaching activities conducted in India. So, as I said, COVID-19 has been a challenge, but as every challenge, it can be considered also as an opportunity. So, in-presence activities in the labs, and please again switch off the microphone. The in-presence activities in the lab were heavily reduced, if not impossible, and that's still the case. So we turned this challenge into an opportunity, and we submitted to the SIA a modification of the project with a sub-project which is currently being organized, where we want to organize those immersive videos, interactive immersive videos, where the students, the trainees, or the researchers can actually interact with people virtually in the labs. They can answer and ask questions, and they can take quizzes, and they can have a sort of a virtual experience. This will be done with the creation of an intensive course for the Indian partners, and eventually they will be able to produce their own videos and integrate them into their didactic activities. And with this, I thank you and hand over the microphone to my colleague, Professor Bidyut Sarmah from Assam Agricultural University. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Carlo. So I would continue what he has presented and then what we have made progress in India. Okay, as Carlo has already mentioned, that our goals were to generate scientific knowledge in the area of climate smart agriculture through trainings to our scientists as well as students in terms of workshops and mobility scholarships, and then updating the curricula in climate resilient agriculture. And that would be done through establishing e-labs. And also networking and disseminations has already been mentioned through webinars, meetings, conference, and outreach programs. Next slide, please. So 3 e-learning laboratories, courses were first developed in Assam Agricultural University, one in Assam Agricultural University. The title was Climate Resilient Agriculture. This is for postgraduate students. And one at Tezpur University, Climate Change Mitigation and Energy Management for Crop-Based Livelihood, which is also meant for post-graduation. And at University of Agricultural Science, Dharwad, there was no exactly a specific course, but they included the climate resilient agricultural prospects and then techniques, etc., in 10 existing courses. Next slide, please. Well, for conducting these courses so that many number of students could attend, so we established e-laboratories through this funding, one at Tezpur University, one at Assam Agricultural University, and one at UAS Dharwad. These 3 e-lab laboratories were established, and we have also developed the websites for each of the e-laboratories. And for maintaining the e-laboratories, we maintain through the logbooks, and then we also used to get the feedbacks from the students and other users. Next slide, please. As for networking and dissemination, as it has already been mentioned, that e-courses were developed in 2 e-courses, and then 57 numbers of training and webinars we conducted. Some recent activities are like, a web conference was conducted on novel breeding approaches for food security under changing climatic conditions during October 2021 at University of Agricultural Science, Dharwad, and one at Assam Agricultural University, that is on AdaptNET webcon on climate smart technologies for agriculture and industry, their challenges and prospects. And we also conducted a series of webinars during the last year on towards outcome-based agri-biotech research and education, a roadmap that was also conducted at Assam Agricultural University. And next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So we also conducted one e-conclave at Tezpur University on promotion of biogas. And one certificate course was conducted at US Dharwad on biotechnology under biotechnology skill enhancement program during this year. And several outreach programs were conducted, and we have also made some publications in local languages, 8 publications and 2 podcasts were already published. Next slide, please. So beneficiaries, if you see, through the e-courses on climate smart agriculture, whether through credit course or through a non-credit course, about 159 students got benefited so far. And for other online courses which were conducted through e-laboratories, about 200 beneficiaries were there. And then through trainings, about 500 plus beneficiaries were recorded. And through webinars, about 2,600 beneficiaries were recorded. Next slide. So what is our future roadmap for this program? Like, we have to implement the training of students in Europe. As Carlo has already mentioned, that because of COVID-19, this has not yet been conducted, but we are expecting them to visit Europe very soon. And we also have to upgrade the e-courses in national e-portals. Under the Indian government, there are some e-portals, which are available for e-courses. And then, we are attempting to publish our courses or to upload our courses in these e-portals. And also our courses have to be, assessed. Their quality has to be assessed, and for that, 2 international experts have already been identified, and they have already agreed to assess our program on quality. And then we also have to formulate research project. This is most important part, that for sustaining the project, AdaptNET project, we have to develop some new research projects, on climate resilient agriculture, wherein we would like to involve startups as well as non-government organizations. And for your information, one such project has already been developed at Assam Agricultural University, and we have submitted to the Government of India funding agency. It's called Department of Biotechnology, and then we are expecting these funds to receive at Assam Agricultural University by early next year. And also we have to develop the resource materials in local language, which will continue. Of course, we have already developed some, but many more will be developed for dissemination of our climate smart practices. So I'd like to thank the European Union Erasmus Plus program for funding us, and this is a great opportunity for us as well as our scientists to interact with the European scientists and students. So thank you very much.